back into season 2 of Other Duties as Assigned. We're in summer vacation mode, and we're trying to get ready for coming back to school. And this is part of a 3-piece series where we're looking at, the birds are making some noise behind me, where we're looking at preparing for school and what does it mean to get ready in the summertime. I'm on summer vacation mode right now, and just thinking about how do we hit the ground running when we get back to school. And we already looked at how do we support teachers. I want to talk a little bit about how, some of our duties revolve around supporting students and how we can get them prepared to have a great year. Just like teachers, students have been hopefully enjoying their summer, maybe a little summer school here, maybe getting caught up on a credit or two. They've been maybe participating in extracurriculars, maybe band camp, some show choir, some practice for one of our athletic teams during the summer. So they've been around school, but they haven't been in the mode of school. So how do we get them ready for a great new school year? I think the first thing we always want to talk about is communication, making sure that we are sharing information with students and families throughout the summer in small doses. Reminding them about key dates, reminding them about key things that are happening, helping them to kind of keep school while on the back burner, still giving them that information that they need. We use our platform for parent communication, Parent Square, but we also use Twitter and Instagram because we want to put it in front of kids a couple different ways. That's been pretty productive and pretty thoughtful. The nice thing is those communications don't change significantly from year to year, so we'll update, we'll refresh some of that messaging and have it ready to go to start the next school year with kind of key important dates and information. That leads us to orientation. We want to do a freshman and new student orientation. Kids who are new to our high school, we want them to see it in kind of a small dose so they can feel comfortable when all the students get here. And so we break it up into 2 parts, alphabetical order. We kind of do half the alphabet in the morning, the other half in the afternoon. And that allows us to kind of have a little bit smaller groups. We realize the most important thing in those meetings is that kids aren't ready to listen to a big long meeting. So we try to break it into small pieces. We give them some kind of key information. We let them meet who the people are they're going to ask questions about during those first few days when they have questions, who their guidance counselor is, who the administrative team is, who are the people in the main office that are going to help them solve problems when they have them in those first couple weeks of high school. We feel like that's a really important part. We do a short tour. One of the things I love is that we get our student leaders, our upperclassmen, our sophomore through 12th graders, whether or not they're in student government or an ambassador or whatever, we reach out to every student group and try to get some kids to volunteer to come in and lead those tours. I think that's really important. And then, we just give them an opportunity to ask questions of current high school kids. I think one of the best things is when you've had a sibling who's gone to school and can tell you about, oh, hey, you really need to know this about passing periods, or you really need to know this about going to lunch. And so by having some upperclassmen around and able to ask questions, that kind of helps the kids who don't have older siblings who've gone through Plainfield to ask those questions of. And so that's been really good. Every once in a while, we come across something that we did because of COVID that's made us better. And we've kind of stolen some good ideas. There are a lot of parts about getting through COVID I'd like to forget. But one of the things I remember is that we did Welcome Week. And Welcome Week was great. What we did was we took all the kind of information and presentations we'd love for kids to have before that first day of school, and we break them down into short, manageable, 8 to 10 minute videos that come from student services and come from the academic side, come from the guidance office, come from athletics. And by creating those videos and sharing those out with students, again, it helps them get to know who the people are who are important, helps parents feel comfortable because they get a chance. Our orientation is for students only. Well, parents feel like they miss out on that. So by having those videos, they get to hear all the good information that we're sharing in that opening meeting. So that has been really good. We just have a website that we create that we upload videos to for that Welcome Week, and then we share it out with families. We actually share it out to all families because it's sometimes just a good reminder, again, just keeping that information kind of on the front burner for them as we transition from June into July and ready to start the school year in August. The last thing I want to talk about is the first day of school. And as you come back to school, what do you do? And I think as an administrator, I have learned over 10 years that the kids care about two things. They care about what are they having or when and how do they eat lunch and how are they getting home. And so we focus a lot of our communication on those first 2 days about making sure they understand when they have lunch. So we have we share that out through multiple different avenues. We have teachers sharing that list with kids. We make sure that kids in their first couple classes get an opportunity to understand when lunch is. And then second of all, we create a list of bus lists of which buses let out, where they go, what row they're in, what bus a kid has, because that first day, some kids, their parents will drop them off, but then they expect them to ride the bus home or vice versa, and just gets a little tricky. And for some kids, for 25% of your school, they've never left your school before. They've come from the middle school or the junior high or whatever, and so it's important that they understand what that process looks like. So we communicate that out. We've done that several different ways. We've pushed it out via email to kids with their specific buses. We share a list with teachers in their last class to go through it with them, and that's been really, really helpful for us. We also really up our staff out at the bus duty. So on that first day, on a typical day, we may have 2 or 3 staff members out at a bus duty. On that first day, we'll have 8 to 10, and we'll really just try to get lots of people out there who are helpful, who can help kids find their way. It also doesn't hurt that I have a good coaching voice, so I can kind of direct traffic out there and get people where they need to go. It's a little tired at the end of that first day, but we get everybody out of here. And then once you get through that first day, the second day is easy. And so I think that's always the good reminder too is, the first day is about kind of starting routines, setting expectations, helping kids feel comfortable, and then you can get back to the business of school. I don't know if it's intentional or not. I want to think that it is, but the last few years, we've started the school year on a Wednesday, which has been great because we've had those 3 days of getting in a routine. We get a weekend to reset, and then we hit the ground running in that first full week of really getting some academics done. Well, I know that you're just like me thinking about how we have a great school year and what things we need to do here in June and July to get prepared. And so I hope give you a couple nuggets of things you might add to your repertoire as you prepare for kids in just a few short weeks. And then we'll hit the ground running with another wonderful school year. So this has been the second part of our Back to School podcast. We supported students. We've supported teachers. And finally, the last one we're going to come back to in a couple weeks is going to be supporting you and supporting administrative team. And so look forward to sharing some information with you about that as well.